Yo, Bracy Skills Clinics back with another video. As you can see, I got the roll bounce look, got it all the way up, got it all the way out. Man, my hair is growing at a real fast rate. My hair has always grown fast ever since I was young. If y'all knew me, I had long hair all throughout my middle school and high school days. So yeah, we bringing it back in 2021. But yeah, man, this particular video is a special video because it's for my Spurs fan base, man. It's for my Spurs fan base, and I'm gonna touch up on something that irritates me. I'm not gonna lie, it irritates me because I be listening to these debates when they talk about, all-time greats and where people rank, and I try to tell people Tim Duncan is top 5 of all time, and some people are like, yeah, he's great at his position. We know he's the best power forward of all time, but I wouldn't say he's top 5, right? And I would ask them, I'm like, okay, why? Because he has 5 rings. He has 2 league MVPs back-to-back when he won them. And he has 3 finals MVPs, along with all of the other accomplishments, the 26,000 points, 15,000 rebounds, the block shots, the all-defensive teams, a lot of rookie of the year. He has a lot of accomplishments, bro. And when you put his resume up against anyone, I'm talking Jordan, Bron, Kobe, there are areas that they beat him on certain parts, but Tim Duncan's overall resume is just as good as anyone's, right? So I try to tell people this, right? Stay with me. And then, I bring up the ring argument. And there are people out there, it's crazy, Spurs fans. If y'all know what I'm about to say is true, and it's very irritating to me. I bring up the rings, right? And you have some people that have these idiotic statements and will try to make it seem like Tim Duncan played with like a super team. They'll be like, oh, the Spurs were good. Duncan always had great teams, and he had Tony Parker and Ginobili, and he always had great teams. Now, I'm going to be the first to tell you, Tony Parker and Ginobili are definitely Hall of Famers. No argument there. But do not try to make it seem like Tim Duncan had a super team and won with teams that had superior talent. When people say that is the most irritating and most disrespectful thing to Tim Duncan's legacy that you can ever say. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. As a true Spurs fan, every year the Spurs won a championship, 99, 03, 05, 07, 2014, the Spurs were never picked to win. Even when we had great teams, win 60 games, even when we had the #1 seed. Oh, yeah, the Spurs #1, but I still don't see them beating the Mavericks. I still don't see them beating the Lakers. They're going to lose to Miami. They lost to them last year. They're not going to – Bron already has their number. They're going to beat him in back-to-back year. The only year that I can say that they were favored in the finals was in 07 with Cleveland. Yes, they were favored in that particular series. But I'm talking about when the playoffs started, the Spurs were not picked to win a championship, even when they had the best record. People was picking Phoenix and everything else to beat the Spurs. So I'm saying if the Spurs were never picked to win a championship, why are y'all making it seem like they had this super team when during those years they never was picked to win? Which means that nobody, or the media at least, never thought the Spurs had a roster that was good enough to win a championship if they didn't pick them. So why, now that all these years have passed and y'all able to look back on the rosters, now everybody want to say, oh, Tim Duncan had this super team. He had Parker, he had Ginobili, and, everybody else, or some guys never had that. Like Karl Malone never had a team like Duncan had. And that's cap, bro. I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to tell you why it's cap. Because as good as Tony Parker and Ginobili was, they were never top tier at their position. And they were never considered the best point guard or the best shooting guard. Even when Parker won Finals MVP, y'all picking Tony Parker over Steve Nash, who won back-to-back MVPs in 07? Are y'all picking Tony Parker over Baron Davis in 07? Do we believe Baron Davis? Are y'all seriously telling me Tony Parker was a better point guard that year than Baron Davis, who was we believe? I don't think so, okay? Jason Kidd on the New Jersey Nets was definitely better than Tony Parker. Okay, who else? Deron Williams and Chris Paul during that time were the 2 best point guards. I'm speaking on even at Parker's peak years. Parker's peak years, I would say, has to be between, I'm going to say 06, 07 to maybe 2010, 2011. Or maybe I'll even extend it because the first year the Spurs played Miami, Parker was still good. So I'll say Parker's peak years was from probably 07 to 2013. During that time frame, don't tell me Tony Parker was the best point guard in the NBA in that time frame. So what I'm saying is Tim Duncan is the only top-tier GOAT that never played with another player that was top tier at their position. Pippen is top tier as a small forward. Okay. Bron has had Anthony Davis and Dwayne Wade. They're top tier at their positions, right? Okay. And I'm not saying Duncan's ahead of those guys. I'm just saying, think about all the top tier greats, right? That's played with somebody else that were top tier at their position. Kareem, Magic, Kareem, Kobe, Shaq, Kobe. So why isn't Tim Duncan top 5? And he's won championships in 3 different decades. The 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s. He has a ring in all 3 decades. Tell me why Tim Duncan's not at least top 5. I'm just trying to figure this out because I don't understand these all-time lists that don't have Duncan in top 5. I don't, because his resume is just as good, and the points that I just made, what can you say? Because when you hear everybody's top tier list, right? Oh, Jordan, Bron, or Bron, Jordan, and Kobe, and Magic, and Kareem, and Bird, and you know what I'm saying? They'll put all these guys ahead of Tim. But they didn't do what I just described. And they didn't have, Duncan didn't. Can you imagine if a prime Tim Duncan would have played with a prime Steve Nash? Can you imagine if a prime Duncan would have played with a prime Jason Kidd? I'm talking about point guards that were pass first. Like, you know how Malone had Stockton, right? Okay, what if Tim played with a pass first point guard that was top tier? Tim Duncan probably would be top 5 in scoring. Okay, and Tim was the ultimate team player, never cared about shot attempts and all that. But I'm saying if Tim would have played with a Nash or a Jason Kidd or a Chris Paul or Darren Williams, like these other greats played with somebody else that were great at their position, Tim's numbers would be even higher. And if he'd have played with like a Nash, no disrespect to TP, if he'd have played like a Nash, Tim probably would have had 7 rings. Because a couple of them years with a Nash, they would have won. So back to the original question, why isn't Tim Duncan in the top 5? Spurs fans, can y'all comment and tell me why they're not putting Tim in top 5? And then people say, oh, but he played with David Robinson. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because some people will say that too. Okay, the year Tim got drafted, David Robinson was hurt. He was already having health issues with his back, and his legs wasn't the same. Okay, he had already had injuries when Tim got there. So the David Robinson, even Tim's first 2 years, even in the Knicks 99 year, David Robinson was not the same, bro. So Tim caught the later end of David Robinson. He didn't catch the David Robinson that's grabbing rebounds and going coast to coast. He didn't play with that David Robinson. So, you know, no disrespect. We know David Robinson Hall of Famer, but once again, inaccurate. Why isn't Tim top 5? Comment. Let me know.